Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do, and that's talk about the fake stuff. But it's rookie time, dynasty talk, doing all that. You know, I always say the crap, man, but I've been saying it, but I'll say it on the pod. Like, rookies ain't my number one thing. I'm just gonna say that now. Like, I ain't no big time scout. Nothing like that. I don't be on Twitter trying to be pretending like, watching 2 months of film and then pretending like I'm just, I don't know how to evaluate it. You know what I'm saying, Craft Man? What's going on, big dog?
Shoot, man, nothing. Just ready to get to talking about some of these running backs. That's like the cream of the crop of the class this year. And I'm just ready to see this whole class. Like, I like watching them just because I like watching football. I don't say like I'm sitting here watching film, like super breaking it down, but I'll try to put down some things that I see that because I've been watching football for a while. So, I can tell some things, but definitely ain't no film buff scout out here.
Not even going to pretend to be, but you got to talk rookies, man. Because it's rookie draft season. Like, we're going to be in our rookie drafts. Me and you got a rookie draft coming up. I'd already seen it was set for May or whatever at 8 a.m. So you better get there because I ain't going to be there, Craft Man. You're going to have to go there and knock that out the park. But
when is it set for?
I think it was like May the 3rd. I think it was like a Saturday at 8 a.m. or something like that.
So it's like a month away.
Yeah, but hey, in our other leagues, we'll be set. We don't have dates set, but I'm one of those people. Got to have the rookie draft. I'm at the NFL draft before you have the rookie draft because there's definitely leagues out there. They just, it gets you in situations where you draft them Malik Willis at the 101 and stuff like that. Like, it didn't have to be like that. Just do your rookie draft after the NFL season. So yeah, I mean, I feel like me and Craftman, we probably slow rolled the rookie talk, but it's because they're just, we need information. Like, at least now we got the draft combine. Me and Craftman, we watch college football, but how many RJ Harvey games or whatever did I watch? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Zero. Zero.
But before we move on, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. We're getting on YouTube, so we're trying to build our YouTube page and all that. So if you're over there on Spotify and Apple, because that's where our bigger audience is. It's over there on that side of things. But, add us on YouTube too. But keep listening to us on Apple and all that. Because, hey, that's how I listen to podcasts. So, and then, follow what we do and check out the Discord. Me and Crabman, we're going to try to build that Discord at some point. But for now, man, just, we're trying to figure things out. Shout out to Chris, too. He ain't with us tonight, but team been working hard behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I'm ready to get the rolling unless you got something to say, Crabman.
Nothing. I was just going to talk about some of the I know we didn't mention for the episode. We were just going to do rookies, but I felt like we hadn't talked about it. So Debo going to the Commanders. Got some news kind of going on in NFL right now. I mean, what do you think about Debo going over there?
Here's what I think. I think it was, I feel like if I can trade a 5th round pick and get Debo Samuel, I'm definitely going to do it. Add him to my squad and stuff like that. But here's what I think. I think we're all just going to find out Debo's washed. That's what I think. I hate to be like that, but I just think he might not be that good. I mean, I don't think his stock necessarily goes up going to Washington, and then Scary Terry's stock probably drops just a tad. So fantasy-wise, I would just, if there's a sell high from this, I would definitely do it. I don't know if it is a sell high because I think he's probably better than San Fran. Unless he was hurt last year, I think we're just going to find out this man is done.
I mean, if anything, it's better for Jaden Daniels having him over there. But as for like Terry, he probably takes a tad step down. But I mean, they get the ball out of the hands pretty quick. They do a lot of east-west type stuff in that offense, kind of throw a lot of screens, and Cliff Kingsbury likes to do that stuff. So Debo's going to get used in that way. I mean, Zach Ertz, he's a free agent, so I mean, there's a chance that Debo can fill in a big role with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just I don't know. It doesn't really change me as far as dynasty redraft. I feel like it just feels the same, to be honest with you. But I feel like I'd rather him be in San Francisco. The thing is, he just didn't finish good last year. You know what I'm saying? And Juwan Jennings and all them guys, they were getting involved. So
the man had pneumonia.
I just think he's washed.
He had pneumonia. You ever play football with pneumonia?
Nah, but I ain't gonna say he. I ain't gonna hate on the man. But we'll just see how it goes. Any other news before we move on? That was the big one, I know.
Yeah, that was the big one. It came out today that DK Metcalf was requesting a trade from the Seahawks, and then you got 2 offensive linemen headed over to the Bears. Jonah Jackson, I think, from the Rams, and a guard from Kansas City. Joe Tooney went over to the Bears too. So they're building up that offensive line. The King.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man.
They're the best at the offseason, man. The Bears are so good at the offseason.
You ain't lying. Well, all right. Well, shoot, man. Let's just move on then. Because we're going to talk running backs in real quick, man. Let's just go ahead and set it straight. This class right here is supposed to be, deep. This is pretty much this draft class. Hey, we could have done a whole episode just reviewing, just saying what we expect from these rookie classes. But the whole draft class, it seems like it's deep on running backs, light on wide receivers this year, pretty light on quarterbacks, and then tight ends might be deep. You just got to play it out, see how it goes. So running backs, this is, I was thinking we did this, 2 years ago, Craftman? And I was watching them running backs and was like, oh, man, dude, these running backs, yada, yada, I was like, dang, this class is good. This class right here, though, is good. What I'm saying? Like, after doing this, your third or fourth time in a row, you're like, damn, okay, this class right here is for real. And every player, this is why I say I can't watch film, because I like every player. You know what I'm saying? I watch all these guys, and they're like, damn, these guys are good. You know what I'm saying? So if you check out the bottom of the screen, teams that need running backs, last year a lot of these teams passed on a lot of the running backs, but now let's see. We got Cowboys, Chargers, Denver, Raiders, New York Giants, Pittsburgh, Vikings. Any more crap, man, off the top of the dome?
And the Bears.
Add to
DeAndre Swift's not the answer.
Heck no, man. And with these running backs coming in, we're always talking about we're trying to replace that class. All these guys like Derrick Henry and all them guys, Alvin Kamara, eventually they got to move on. This is the class that's going to replenish it all, Kraft, man. And heck, Saquon got paid today. I just feel like the market is just, everything's just good. Everything's going good vibes for the running back position these days. You know what I'm saying, Kraft, man? So, I watched all these guys, and I'm going to say this. I can rank them however I want to rank them, but I'm really not even going to care until we see the NFL draft and see draft capital and see landing spots, because a few of these I feel like I could just interchange them. I feel like Jeanty, it's pretty clear he's going to be the top guy. I just think these other guys are good too, so I'm sorry to ramble, but I'm just saying, hey, if that 101, I might try to trade back this year for some of these guys. I know we're going to see some of these landing spots, but weak quarterback class, it ain't going to affect your super flex draft too much. So this might be the year to, move back, maybe collect a little bit, because there's some good guys. But go ahead, Kraft, man.
I mean, it's going to be hot and heavy in your rookie drafts with running backs this year. It's the most, like in your dynasty league, is the position that is in need the most. That teams are always lighted on running backs in dynasty leagues. So this will probably be the year where everybody's going into it like you said. This is the time. This is the year to go ahead and fix my running back problem, and it might just be the perfect time to do it with this class. And like you said, all these running backs, they look pretty damn good this year. I think it's going to live up to the hype.
So we're just gonna start it off on the top. Ashton Jeanty. If I'm pronouncing these words wrong, then oh well, you know what I'm saying. Boise State, 5'8.5", 211, and it was just all year. Pretty obvious. I mean, he was in Heisman conversations, stuff like that. So everybody knew, like, I would say coming in during the season of college football was Ashton Jeanty and then the wide receiver, Tet. Those were probably like the players that you were trying to tank for at the time. It was them two guys. I know for sure Jeanty, it looks like it's going to hold up for him. I feel like he's definitely going to go 1-1 in your drafts. And to me, I would just I wouldn't expect it, but I would just hope. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't hope this, but I would just kind of want him to have the Jahmyr Gibbs role. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to. I know people think that's crazy. You want to get him to get all the work and all that stuff, but we wanted that with Jahmyr Gibbs too, and he was like he was like drafted number 11 or something like that. But I feel like it would be great if he had a David Montgomery with him, and you could get another one of those combo running backs. You know what I'm saying? If he went to. Well, hell, I don't know, because none of these teams got good running backs. That's why they're looking for
the Raiders
running backs. So, yeah, you know. But so you know what I'm saying about Jeanty? I mean, he looks good, and one interesting stat. I got one interesting stat for him because I'm not gonna say too much about him because what's there to say? I feel like everybody knows what to say about him. He just never went down. He just kept on going and going and going. Like, he was always getting hit, but dude, he could just bounce off it and keep running. Unless I could be mistaken. Do you know how many total yards he had last year?
I'm just wondering. Over 2,000. Over 2,000 and something. I got everybody's stats but his because I just didn't write it down because I just figured Jeanty 101. Right. My notes on him was just beast. He's a beast.
The main reason the main reason I even asked is because I got this stat wrote down right here, and I just wanted to know if I just wrote it down wrong. But yards after contact this past season, 1,970 yards. I mean, I know he's playing in the damn Mountain West Conference or whatever, but I don't really look into that stuff too much. I don't really care.
Does that count? Does that count like
pretty
contact? Obvious. Is that contact from like when the ball hits his chest? Is that when the contact starts? You know what I mean? Because that sounds crazy. I know he rushed for over 2,000, but god dang,
he was definitely
that's pretty wild.
That shit. And it was like obvious he was the number one running back all year, and it still is. But I admit these guys are good. I've heard some maybe Omarion Hampton hype, but I just wouldn't be throwing him up there as one. Craftman, is there anything you would like to add to the running back?
No, State? I mean, I didn't watch Jeanty all that much this season, just a couple games, and I kind of wanted to go into the film being like, I'm gonna figure out a way to like, is this guy really that good? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I started watching, I was like, man, because I didn't think like watching the game in person, I was like, is he really that fast? Like, does he have that breakaway speed? And then I watch the film a little bit, and I'm like, damn, like there ain't really nothing negative I can say. Like, contact balance was perfect. Like, he hit the holes. There wasn't, like you said, yards after contact was ridiculous. He's just a really good prospect.
It was pretty clear that this dude doesn't go down easy. You know what I mean? So we just showed the list. Where would you like to see him land, though, Kraft, man? I mean, what are we talking about? I've been hearing some reports that Cowboys would pass on him just because it's a deep class, and they're like 11, 12, something like that. In that Jahmyr Gibbs range. So I'm just saying, where would you like to see him, though, Kraft, man?
I mean, the best place would be the Chargers, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like that's the best. Them and the Cowboys are the best two spots in general. I mean, a lot of these teams would be good. Like the Steelers, if Najee goes somewhere. And that's another thing we didn't mention at the beginning is the free agent class isn't that deep at running back. So you got like Najee, Nick Chubb, and Javonte Williams. So a lot of these spots aren't even going to get filled with free agents like they did last year, with Jacobs and Saquon and players kind of getting moved.
All right. Well, shoot, man. Let's just add on. Let's just go ahead and hit on to the next one. Omarion Hampton, North Carolina, 6', 221. And I'll be honest, I'm a little more familiar with his game more than others just because, yeah, I watch ACC football, Craft man. I'm that rare one out there that give me Wake Forest and Louisville on a Friday night. I'm probably tuning in, you know what I'm saying, Craft man? Man, dude, no doubt, Omarion Hampton. Let me pull out some of his stuff. Last 2 seasons, 24 touches per game, 150 yards per game, 1.32. And he scores touchdowns. We'll just put it like that. The dude scores touchdowns, and he has workhorse ability. I have no doubt about it. What the thing that you noticed about his game? Like I say, we're not a scouts, but north and south. I just feel like he gets north to south real good. It's just, it's a different style than watching Ashton Jeanty. Like, he has his own style. Omarion Hampton has his own style. I would definitely say he is probably 2 for me, but it's, it's closer with all these other guys. Like, I could switch it up, but Omarion Hampton is a beast. And, I'm kind of eyeing him in some of my, I got some ideas for how I want rookie drafts to go. And I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. You know what I mean? Crap, man, I think he would be perfect for the Cowboys because they need a workhorse kind of guy. And he definitely is a workhorse type of running back to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you mentioned some of his stats, but last year he had 281 carries for 1,660 yards and 15 touchdowns with 373 yards, in the passing game. So he is a true workhorse running back. From what I've seen with him, I mean, he was great in college, not just last year, but the year before. Had 2 good years. He's durable. He looks like, for me, when I was watching him, he looks like Jonathan Taylor, like body type. Like, he's just jacked. Like, he's slim, but he's just jacked, and that's why 220 pounds. He's a bigger guy, but he still ran like a 4.4 something in the combine, but. Some things I got on him. Good at pass protection, can play all 3 downs, falls forward, and consistent runner between the tackles. But he don't have that lateral quickness that some of the, like Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, like he's more of a north-south type of guy, like you said. He ain't got that nasty jump cut, not really breaking tackles, using his elusiveness. He's just kind of a hammer.
Yeah. Now, I know Todd McShay, he had some good words about him. I've seen that he had declared him as number 2 running back of the draft. He might have said he might have hyperbole. He might have went up to 1. I'm not sure, but I know he had some good things to say about him. I'm not going to come on here and say nothing negative about these guys. I listen to other podcasts, and, they scout it out more than I do, so they'll say negative stuff about it. But, yeah, I'm with you. The lateral quickness and all that. Couldn't agree with you more. And I feel like it's obvious when you watch the film. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Still, I mean, it ain't nothing where I'm like, man, got to drop him down in rankings or something like that. Like, I just think this man's good. He's ready. I feel like he would be great for some of these workhorse roles. Chargers maybe. I don't know what they're going to be trying to do because I don't really know about what Jim Harbaugh and them do. They'll probably try to get a running back later in the draft. I feel like they'll get one. I feel like, but I feel like it'll be later.
Like second round.
Anything else?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
because the class is so
that's
deep.
What I'm saying too.
Yeah, there might be a like Jeanty could go early and Hampton could go early, or another running back could. But like you're talking day 2 and stuff. Like some of these running backs that we're going to talk about can get pushed down because there's just a shitload of them that are good.
Right, and depending on the situation, I won't care. Hopefully I won't care about draft capital, but we did them episodes a couple of years ago, and it was like, damn, draft capital, bro. Like that shit definitely means something. You know what I mean, Craft man?
Because sure.
I went into that like trying to be like, draft capital probably don't matter as much in today's age and stuff like that, but I feel like it definitely does, except for like with maybe a couple teams.
Yeah, I mean last year wasn't the best year to prove that. I mean, Bucky was really the only good one, but he actually went to a spot where he could where he could like take over as a starter. But this year's just gonna be different. And one thing I got to say, like backup running backs in the NFL, like if you're a second stringer or third stringer, like you might be out of the league after this year because these guys are going to be coming to take some spots. You got to watch
Yeah,
out.
hell yeah. All right, well, shoot, next. We got Kaleb Johnson, Iowa, 6'1", 224, and I'll say, Craft Man, out of all the guys that, in them Twitter streets out there, out of all the guys, I would say of the widest range of opinions, Kaleb Johnson is definitely in the mix on that one. Because, some of these guys, they'll, these nerds will look at he had a slow 40. What was it, Craft Man? It was like 4.5 or something like that, or
4.58.
4.58. Slow. It was a slow 40, but it's like I was placing some bets with, sitting on the couch with we placing some bets, not having a clue about what these guys' 40s were or nothing. And I was telling him that people think Kaleb Johnson is slow, but when I watch him play, he don't really look that slow to me.
No, heck
so
no.
Me and you were on the phone talking about Kaleb Johnson. I just kind of mentioned him, and you were saying he was clocked at what? All right, go ahead, Craft Man. He was clocked at like
22 mile an hour, and then another time at like 21.7 miles per hour. So like this, the 40-yard dash is just it's one of the things that I care the least about when I'm watching the combine because like not all these guys are track stars. They don't know the ins and outs of how to, get started off the blocks and all this type stuff. So I just watched is he fast on the field? He looks pretty damn fast to me. So
yeah,
as long as you ain't out there running like a 4.8 or something, then that's
right.
concerning. But like 4.5, 4.4, whatever.
So one thing when I've watched these guys, like, I've pulled out pretty much one trait that I noticed the most about these guys. And then, so mine for Kaleb Johnson is patience. I feel like this dude was definitely patient.
Yeah.
And then he would hit the hole. I seen a lot of people they want to give Marshawn Lynch, what do you call them, comps or whatever. But he was like what do you think about Le'Veon Bell? That style, man.
Yeah,
I know he's got the yellow and the black. Well, I just was thinking, man, I have no fears of Kaleb Johnson either. Like, I definitely don't think he's slow. But really, the combine, man, who gives a damn about the combine? Like, I could sit here and rant about the combine for 10 minutes of how I don't give a shit about. I really don't even care now these days. Like, I used to care about, like, they should want to, do good. Really, the combine now is like for these players, it can definitely make some people some money. You know what I'm saying? Like that running back from Virginia Tech.
Oh,
I don't even know his name. Tootin. We'll have to go over him at some point. I have no film on him, but we'll have to. But he definitely made him some money, Craft Man. You know what I'm saying? Being that fast, no doubt about the combine was good for him. So
yeah,
but
like
I don't really care about it.
But Kaleb Johnson, like we see a size up there, 224. That's heavier than Hampton. Hampton's, they're totally different. Kaleb Johnson's more, like you said, he plays smaller than his size to me. Like watching him, he's more patient setting up his blocks than Hampton is, but he doesn't play like a 225-pound running back. Like he plays a lot smaller than that. He runs kind of upright at times. And he ain't. I put on here. He's not that great at one-on-one situations. Like. And he runs outside a lot, but when he gets going, he's gone. And I think more of him, more like a Kenneth Walker would probably be my best comp for Kaleb Johnson.
Last season, he had 1,725 yards from scrimmage, 23 total touchdowns, and 0 fumbles. So I know that's going to be one that, to me, the NFL teams are just going to fucking love that shit. You're not putting the ball on the ground. Hey, come play with me any day. Some of these teams are going to love it. So I feel like it definitely keeps him in the mix for, being drafted pretty high. You know what I'm saying, Kraft?
Yeah, I think he's more of a day two kind of guy, like third round, maybe second or third round. But, around the dynasty community, that, like you said, there's a lot of, some people love him, some people, don't care for him at all. So I'm somewhere kind of right in the middle. He's not my number 2. He's not even my number 3, but I think he's still going to be a good running back. He just got to get a good landing spot, man.
Some people say he just straight up sucks. I'm like, you tripping, man. Definitely ain't worried about him. All right, crap, man. Let's move on to these Ohio State guys because they're bringing out a couple. And
talking about sucks,
man. Hey, they were just loaded, I guess. I mean, TreVeyon Henderson. He let's see, because he was the guy, and he was really expected to come out last year. Because I had already kept him on the radar a little bit last year. He decided to come back. You know how it is. That's going to really change the game for some of these college players coming back, because you can get money in college. Some of them might just want to come back and stay, collect $1 million up front and whatnot, and stay for another year. So TreVeyon Henderson stays. He's got a stud teammate in Quinshon Judkins. If I pronounced that one wrong, oh well.
I think you got it.
So I watch a lot of Ohio. I've watched, I'm not saying I watch a lot of Ohio State, but they're always on these big games. They're always on the big stage. So you watch them all the time. So it felt like TreVeyon Henderson's role was just small at times, and I was just kind of wondering what was the deal with that. I mean, he still played all the time and stuff like that, but it's really, he was just getting ready for the NFL too. They got another good running back they could lean on too as well. So it's like he didn't have to be some kind of workhorse kind of guy. Like Ohio State was fucking stacked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
And
he's smaller.
Yeah, and heck, the numbers might not even say that. I don't even know. He might have played as much all throughout the year, and I just misremembering or whatnot. But I just felt like it was like, oh, his role was. But I just want to put that out there because his role wasn't lessened because he's getting overpassed by Judkins, and I know a lot of people like Judkins, but it's like TreVeyon Henderson was still good, and he could still play, and he was still catching the ball, and he was still doing his thing. So it's like some people got him as high as the second running back. Some people got him 5, 6. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different opinions with these running backs this year, but TreVeyon Henderson, the one thing, explosive, and his receiving ability, that automatically just puts you up there in these running back draft boards and stuff like that. So what say you, Kraft man?
What you like his splits with Judkins? So Henderson had 144 carries, Judkins had 219 carries. So he was used a little bit less, but he averaged 7.1 yards per carry on the season, and Judkins was down at 5.5. So, he was a little bit more efficient than Judkins. But I mean, when I got on him, like he reminded me of like DeAndre Swift when he was at Georgia. Like he's just solid pass catcher and super explosive with good burst and acceleration. But he wasn't that great at like fighting through arm tackles. But when he gets some space between him and the linebackers, like in the hole, he can make them look stupid. But he's just one of them players that's going to need space. He needs to get in a good offense that's going to use him correctly, because he's just not going to be like this in between the tackles type running back that you can just hand the ball off to over and over. And he's not as explosive as like somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs neither. So, but he's very quick twitch. Like, a little bit like Bucky was last year, somebody like that.
Let's say he would do good with what do you do? Zone run. Let's say Shanahan type deal. I feel like he'd be pretty good in a role like that. You know what I'm saying?
The Dolphins, maybe something like that outside run.
Yeah.
But I mean, he ain't going to the Dolphins, but he's going to have to get with a team like somebody like that. Like he don't fit like the Steelers to me, or the Chargers. Like that. That's not the type of team that I see him going to. Maybe like the Vikings would be okay. Something like that. But not a team that needs a workhorse. I hear that baby over there. What's she doing?
getting up in the middle of the night looking for folks is what it sounds like.
There she is.
It sure is. I'm just wondering if I can keep going without having to do anything. On to the next, though. Quinshon Judkins.
Did she? I hope she found mommy.
Yeah, she found it, man. I know. I was hearing it from a distance. I was like, is that her? But I couldn't tell if that was really her. But yeah, crap, man. Did you want to say anything else about TreVeyon Henderson? I got a little sidetracked for a sec, but I was gonna say, I got his numbers right here. We were talking about how Kaleb Johnson was clocked. I seen TreVeyon Henderson was clocked at 22 miles per hour, and among rookies, according to who I wish I should have wrote down where I saw this stat. I guess it was first among these rookies coming out. So I know he's fast too, and I just want to put that out there. But for his career, I mean, 77 receptions, 855 receiving yards, 48 touchdowns at Ohio State. I mean, this dude.
Yeah, he needs to be like he needs to be like he just needs to go to a team where he is used like 50% of the time. 55% of the time. Kind of like the way Gibbs is used in Detroit or somebody like that. He's just not going to be your workhorse running back. That's what puts him behind like Hampton and maybe even Kaleb Johnson, just depending on where he goes.
All right, let's just move on to his teammate. Just slide over here because people are super high. There's even a little debate about who's better. I don't really even know. Yeah, I would say he's better, and I would say I'm not gonna say it's not close because I think Judkins is good. But where you're gonna be getting my thing about Judkins is like where these rankings shake up. It's like where you're gonna be getting him in the draft. It's like, man, damn. I mean, you can definitely get a good running back later in the. Heck, I don't even know what these mocks are looking at, but we got to throw quarterbacks in the mix, a couple wide receivers. We might be looking at like a late first. You can get a guy like this. 6 foot, 221 pounds. Yeah, I mean, they were stacked, won a national championship. I feel like he does have workhorse ability. Displayed it at times. But, my thing is like he's got elite production and all that stuff. But for some reason, it just felt like when you watch a film, TreVeyon Henderson's a little bit better. It's not a knock on Judkins because Judkins is still good as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I really didn't. To tell you the truth, like I didn't really even like Judkins that much when I watched it. I was actually coming in thinking like, man, this dude killed it at Ole Miss. Like he came into Ohio State, he was killing it again. He just didn't pop off. But I totally understand that there's going to be. He looks like he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, man. This is the one I'm calling. Like Najee out, throw him in there. They're pretty much the damn same to me, and but it just seems like he misses a lot of holes. The comp that I put to him is like Brian Robinson. That's kind of how I see Judkins.
What about Joe Mixon?
See, I had him for Hampton. I had Hampton for Joe Mixon, but I think Mixon's a good bit better at just like reading blocks and just a better overall running back. Judkins is just, I don't know. His size, he's got good size. He can be a workhorse. He can catch the ball for his size too. It's not like Henderson was the only one over there getting any receptions. He had 22 receptions last year.
Right.
But there just wasn't nothing special I liked about him. But I still realize that, he's that perfect size. He's got good top end speed. Just got to get him going. But
would you agree? Like late first round, he's there. That's a good pick.
For sure.
Damn, I got him in the. I guess depending on draft capital too, but that's just the way I feel about Judd. Because I was saying about some of these rookies last year, it was like I can't think of who they are at the top of my head. But maybe players like Keon Coleman or something like that, where I'm like, damn, you're getting them at the 204, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want to hate on some of these guys. That's how I feel about Judkins. It's like I don't really rank him up there high with some of these guys, but it's like, damn, if he falls to us at the 110, but be all over that. You know what I'm saying? So
were you not impressed by him either?
I thought he was good, but I think all these guys are good. I mean, Judkins is one of those I saw play live a lot too, so it was like I mean, he's good as fuck. I think
Ohio
I think
State's
they're
just
all
really,
good.
really damn good too.
That's just how it is. They stacked up, man. I think they had the highest payroll or whatever last year, Ohio State. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
So pays to pay the bills. Crabman, anything you would like to add to our first set of running back rookies? I feel like we gave a little deep dive on them about what we felt about these guys and stuff. And truth is we just like them all. Crabman had a few things to say about Judkins, but other than that, Crabman, anything you want to add to the running backs or just the running back class in general?
I mean, we know the running back class is really good, but I mean, I was just going to say that this part of the rookie time before the draft is like 20% of it. Like the landing spot's like 60%, or I mean, you got to add draft capital and landing spot in there. Those outweigh whatever we say about how elusive this guy is, or But I like getting on here because I like to try to see the talent, and if it matches up with, like, if I really like the guy and then he goes to a great spot, then it's just like I'm gonna draft that guy in a rookie draft for sure.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
However I can.
I got one more question. Would you put, let's just say Trey Benson, would you take him over any of these 5 guys we talked about tonight? Don't think I would either.
There's a couple that in our next episode that I wouldn't. Like
Same.
Devin Neal or Dylan Sampson. Like, I would take both them guys over Benson last year. It's like 7. That's like what, like 7 running backs that I would have took over. Corum and Benson. Definitely Corum.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this class is definitely looking
good. Him too.
Man, shoot, man. We got to move on. Me and Crabman definitely dropping another episode tonight. Thanks for listening to the podcast, to the show. Like I say, join us. Hey, me and Crabman getting some things together. Definitely about to get a dynasty startup. I even have people asking me. I got a few people ready, new to the dynasty, ready to join it. Love fantasy football, but I'll be talking to them about dynasty. So dynasty startup, come at us with it. We definitely gonna get one going this year, no doubt.
Can't wait. I can't wait to get some of that ADP. Those are my favorite. Those are some of the best episodes, just talking about some ADP and this shit we don't agree with.
Yeah, agree. I'm with you 100%. Crab, I'm going to hit this button. Hopefully. Me and Crabman trying to make it work, but we're going to add us an intro and an outro at some point. But listen, thanks for listening to the podcast. Doing what we do, Craftman, anything else? So you ready to move on up out of here?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Appreciate everybody for listening.
We out.
Peace.